Hi, it's Steve. Just wanted to touch base with you. Um, all right. Wanted to go over. Ryan's going to be here in a bit. Wanted to go over self storage and what to look for in terms of self storage. Now, you can find self storage a lot of different ways. You can go your phone book, driving for dollars. What we're looking for in self storage specifically is there it is. We're looking for mom and pop owned operations. I mean, you know what self storage looks like. They come in lots of flavors and types and sizes. But we're looking for smaller. This is not too small a property. There is no too small. But this is only 20 units on 2 acres. But we're looking for A&T Enterprises storage. You know, we're not looking for U-Haul. We're not looking for anything else. Hang on a second. Ryan's calling. Find out why. Yep. Hey, real quick, I'm about to log in, but I wanted to know in terms of if I have a new person that wants to that I just talked to that is interested, is there a link that I can give them? Anyway, so what we're looking for is we're looking for mom and pop owned small portfolios. So what we're not looking for is extra space storage. We're looking for cube start public storage. Pretty much no. It's really not what we're looking for. Okay. We're looking for A&A self storage. That's a small chain. That's the Amato family, and they're probably not going to sell Amatos because they're too wealthy. But it's a small chain. It's a possibility they might sell. Chestnut Hill self storage, Wilkesboro City self storage. That's who we're looking for. Okay. So that's the who. Another way to look for self storage is you come to Google and you add the satellite. And you literally, I mean, you got the list over here, but you add the satellite and you start seeing them. Now, the reason you're adding the satellite is of course, it's not going to be easy for me in this particular spot, is it? Trying to find one of these. They usually light up. Anyway, what easy blah, blah, blah. What you're doing here is you're literally flying over and looking for things that look like self storage. Now you're not going to find the climate controlled ones by doing this because they're going to look like buildings, not something you can easily tell. But you zoom out enough to get enough territory, and you know what self storage looks like. That's probably self storage. Buildings look like I call them. They look like hot dogs. You got a 10, 15 foot deep unit here, 10, 15 foot deep unit here, and drive-ups. Now this one has, okay, this is a detailing company. Turned out not to be self-storage. But the point is, those kinds of buildings, and if it's one of those kinds of buildings and it does not have a Google dot on it, and it would really be helpful if this had brought up one of those kinds of buildings. But if it was one of those kinds of buildings that did not have a Google dot, that tells us it's a poorly run self-storage. They're not even registered on Google. So you want those people. They might be registered on Google. They might have a website. They might be a fully qualified, good operation, but they're not chain owned. They're not public storage. They're not CubeSmart. They're not U-Haul. Give me whoever you find. If you're not sure who the big players are, I'll filter that out. But what we want to know, and we have a form here for you. We have a form here for you. What we want to know is there's this. I'll show you this one real quick. There's the public one, and then there's the team one. But I'll show you the public one. The very basic information is the same stuff as the residential. Where is it? Why are you looking to sell? Describe the property. Opt-in confirmations. Marketing disclosures. Basic stuff. None of it's required. Upload financials, upload videos, upload images, upload files. Give me this. Give me any part of this. Give me enough to contact them. Give me their contact information. Tell me what you know about the facility. Connor did this, and I don't know if this deal is going to go anywhere, and he found this property. This one's going to be tough because it's only 20 units. There's not a lot of income to go off of. But that's what you're looking for when I say I want to buy self-storage. You're looking for mom and pop owned. And you can find them by going to Storage Area USA. Loctite Self-Storage. That's not a national brand. CubeSmart probably won't want to talk to them, but some CubeSmarts are independently owned. So those are Lock and Lock, Load and Lock, whatever. That's not a national, And if you're not sure, give me something that's a national brand rather than not giving me something else. Get them in. If I buy them or I find a wholesaler for them, if we wholesale them, it's a different number. But I have a wholesale network that I can sell these things real fast to. All they do is buy self-storage. We get a $5,000 fee, and that's what gets split among all of us. So that's how to find self-storage. Now, that's what we're looking for in self-storage. Now, Ryan's going to jump in here now and tell you about how to find and what we're looking for in terms of how to find. So I'll pull my screen off in case you want to show anything, Ryan. I don't hear you.
Yeah, Steve, what I think I'm going to do for this one is I'm probably going to I don't think I'm going to need a screenshot for this. I'm basically going to just go into just descriptive things. Basically, for the students out there or anybody who wants to figure out, how do I get leads? How do I start clicking the gears and bringing deals in? What do I do? How do I get them? We're going to go through a list here and a method of ways to find these leads. And when you get these leads, bring them to Steve and I, and we can help you go through it, and we can work the deal together, and you can see how it works and how the deal comes together. So the first method that we're going to discuss, and this works no matter where you live in the country, just put an ad in the newspaper. The first, if your local newspaper, whether you live in a small community, large community, just put an ad in the newspaper saying, looking to sell a house, looking to sell a rental property, cash offers, call Johnny at, and put your phone number or whatever. Probably you want to use a burner phone number so you can track if it came through the ad or not. A burner number like a Google Voice number or something, a Text Now number, something of that nature. But realistically, some newspapers don't even charge you to do this. So in some markets across the country, some newspapers are free. Other newspapers charge you something crazy like, I don't know, $20 a week or something like that, which realistically most people can afford, even if they have to pay for it. But you can run a nice little ad. They'll put a little ad like this in there, like the wanted to buy section or in the real estate section, or sometimes they'll give you multiple sections. They might slot you in there where the realtors go. And you know what? If you get one call that leads to a deal, like, hey, it was worth it. But that's what you want to consider, either in the wanted to buy section or in the real estate section, putting an ad in there. And I guess to piggyback off that, you might want to, if you have a company name or a legal entity like ABC123, You might want to advertise, instead of saying Johnny buys houses, you might want to say, hey, my company ABC123 will buy your house for cash. For a cash offer on your house, if you're looking to sell, call me at, and then put your phone number on the newspaper ad. So we got that. That's one of the avenues that you can do it. You can be as elaborate as you want. You can be as short as you want, but most people can afford that. Hey, you can't be free. And even if it's $20 a week, who cares, right? So second way that we're going to discuss right now is business cards. There's a website that I just used to buy business cards, and I'm going to bring it up right now. Let's see here. It actually cost me, I think it was 1,000 business cards here. Let's take a look. It is called Bizay, and I'm going to spell that out for you. It is B-I-Z as in zebra, AY.com, Bizay.com. You can get like 1,000 business cards with a glossy text coating on it, front and back, sides, and you can get that done for $10. You can't go wrong. You'll get it shipped to your house in 2 weeks, free shipping. Why is this important? Well, you don't want to look like you're this disjointed mess of someone who works in his mother's basement trying to get leads in or something like that. You want to look like you're a professional company. So to piggyback on what I was discussing just a few moments ago about starting an entity, start an LLC. That's probably the best way to get started. Start an LLC in the state that you live in. Pick out a name. If it's Great Houses LLC, we buy houses, whatever your name is. Pick it, get a logo done. Get a logo done on Fiverr. You can get a logo done on Fiverr for like $10. Someone who does graphic design. Get a phone number and put it on your business card. Why would you want to do this? Well, if you're handing out business cards when you're out in public or something, you look like you're a professional. If you have a nice looking business card, and you're dressed nice, somebody's not going to know if you've got $1 million in your bank account or if you're scraping by with the last $50 to your name. You'll look professional and you can draw people in. So professional looking business cards are great. In fact, if you use, you can use AI here to design your logos. You can use something called Perplexity. It's a free AI software and you can also use another one called Zero GPT. Those are both free services. I know someone who designed a logo in about 30 seconds through these 2 free programs that AI generated. I mean, the logos are phenomenal. They were free, they downloaded them, and they're using them for their businesses. So if you can download and create a logo, again, through Perplexity and Zero GPT for free, there's no reason why, that you can't get started. They're just lazy if you don't do it.
But Ryan, can I just jump in? If they're working under our brand, why do they need all that? If they're just other guys going out there saying Hunting for Homes wants you.
Well, here's the thing. I think Hunting for Home business cards is the way to go. However, eventually when they do get their businesses up and running, and regardless, they're going to be bringing us their deals anyway. And people might want to see a local phone number. But irregardless, we can give you Hunting for Homes business cards if you want to just, contact us. They're $10. We can work something out with that. But the benefit is just to look like you're a professional. If someone wants to see that local number, that's the only reason why I can see that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just correct me if I'm wrong though. Just to simplify it, and honestly, part of it is protecting our brand and putting our brand out there more. If you guys get a local number, and you get an email address and a Facebook business presence under your name with that local number, you don't have to worry about paying for an entity. You don't have to worry about paying for anything because you're going to bring your deals to us. If you want to go do an entity, that's certainly better. That's the way we started. But don't get scared out by, we have to start out doing all this other stuff. What we want you doing right away is finding us deals. So, everything you said is absolutely right. I just don't want to scare people off. They say, well, I can't afford an entity, therefore I can't get started.
Absolutely. And that's a great point that you make. And to Steve's point, for all the folks listening out there, if you go his route and just go through us like that, the out-of-pocket expense is like literally zero. So just get out of your bed and start doing stuff. Doesn't cost money, right? So to Steve's credit, Just go through us. We'll make it simple, and you're not having any out-of-pocket expenses, really. So next thing that you want to do, if you want to, if you want to do some marketing like that, go to a networking event. If if you've got our business cards, go to a networking event. Put yourself out there, pass out some business cards. It doesn't hurt. I've had people call me after like 5 years of meeting me. I don't remember who they were. In fact, I spoke to a guy yesterday that called me wanting to become one of our students. And he said, "Hey, I saw an interview that you did like 2 years ago, which I didn't even remember that I did." He found it online and he got in touch with us, and he's going to become a student of ours probably in the next few weeks. But I mean, it just goes to show you stuff like that. You meet people at networking events, you pass out your card, you give your phone number and things like that. You're going to have success. It may take a while, but it's going to come. So another thing too, I won't get into it too much here, but you can do at some point, and this would be more for advanced students probably working through us, but at some point we're going to be doing Facebook ads and things of that nature. So at some point we can discuss that. We won't discuss that here, but that is an option to start doing, is Facebook ads, because they cost money. But if you go through us, that'll be an option for you in the future. One thing I wanted to mention though about one really, really good way to do your marketing. If you get these business cards through us and you have a local number in your local area, the best place to pass them out, there's 3 phenomenal places to pass these out. Well, actually 4. There's a little diner that's down the road from my house. It gets tons of foot traffic. Right by the register, there's all these business cards that people put there right by the register. You can't miss them when you walk in. So if there's a little diner in your area, a little restaurant like I have, put a stack of business cards there. People are going to see them. Where else is a good spot? If you go to church, hand them out to people at church in a large group setting. If you go to a grocery store, there's another grocery store by me that has this huge bulletin board, like it takes up the entire wall. And all it has is business cards and community notes and listings and all that crap. Put your business cards on a community bulletin board. I've done it before at a local grocery store, like when we were first starting out, like years ago. I got phone calls from it. Didn't cost me anything. I think we actually closed the deal from that. I think one of our first few deals was from the bulletin board. It's that putting business cards in a bulletin board. So don't discount that. And then, of course, another great place where you can put your business cards, put them out at laundromats. They always have bulletin boards there. There's always people going there, people that usually get in financial trouble or can't afford a washer or dryer or get behind on their mortgage. Lots of them go to laundromats. So that's a great place to put your business cards. Put them on the community bulletin board that's there. You'll solve a lot of problems. So, I mean, I guess getting into the next thing, and I just thought of this one, just came up off the top of my head. If you're going to go towards like any local tax sales in your area, there's a lot of people that buy real estate there. Hand out business cards there. You don't have to do any buying if you're going to go to a local tax sale, but hand out business cards if you go there. Can't hurt, right? Anywhere where there's a group setting. This is another place another idea that you could do is you could buy data through one of these buying data companies. There's I can't remember the place that Steve and I use. I'm sure. Oh, Leadvine. That's one of them that you can use. We've had varying levels of success with that one, but it's cheap. It's affordable. But even if you don't go through there, go through some other place where you can buy data. Start making phone calls. Buy a list for $50 and see where it goes. Steve and I are also looking into getting lists to have the students do cold calling as well. But if you get a lead on the phone, call us, contact us. We can help you get the deal, secure the deal, and close the deal. And you can learn how it gets done in real time. So those are some things that you can do. Now, the other one, this is the one that you got to be really careful with. If you do something called bandit signs, and what's a bandit sign? That's like if you're going down an intersection or something along those lines and you see those "We Buy Houses" signs, you see them everywhere. You got to be careful putting them up at the intersections and on telephone poles, because in some local municipalities, it's illegal. So if you're going to do it, be very careful. And And yes, there you go, right there. Steve's got that up on the screen, what they look like. You know, the We Buy Houses as is and pay cash, and to put a phone number there. I mean, you know, you put them at busy intersections and things like that. Hundreds, if not thousands of cars go by in a day. It just takes one person to stop and call, and you get a lead, and you take the information down, you bring it to us, we analyze the deal. For all we know, there could be thousands of dollars to be made on that deal. And then we get the deal under contract, you work with us, you can learn how the deal goes together. And basically for zero cost out of pocket, you're learning how a deal works from start to finish. You're making money from day one, and you can use it towards advertising. You can use it to, start buying more leads. The gears start turning, and things are great. So again, I mean, I don't know the standard size for these bandit signs. I want to say they're probably like a 1.5 by a foot or something like that. They're very small, but you could see that. But what Steve showed on his screen, very affordable, cost effective. You're basically spending your time nailing them up to a telephone post. But again, use a burner number, because we don't want the local authorities coming back and getting angry at you. Use a burner number like Google Voice or something like that if you're going to go the bandit sign route. But it does work. We know people that actively do it, and that's how they started. And another cheap advertising way, other than the bandit signs, which I really like that. Steve's got that up on the screen right now. It looks professional. You put the phone number in there. You try. You can use before I get into the next thing, vinyl lettering. You can put in a little box like that. It looks really, really good. If you're really good, you can get like tracing numbers or letters and just fill them in with a marker, so it doesn't look like you're just writing chicken scratch on a piece of cardboard. It can actually be made to look quite professional, depending on how much time you wanna put into it. Steve and I know a guy who orders bandit signs from China for pennies on the dollar, and that's how he runs his business. He just does it completely with bandit signs. So there's a lot of value there if you decide to go the bandit sign route. Now, the last couple of things here that I want to get into. I have a billboard that is on a local highway. I think the billboard is 6 foot by 12 foot. So it's considered a mini billboard. It's not like the full scale, 30 by 30 billboards that you see on the highway, but 6 by 12 is still pretty large. I have a spot that I rent out on a highway. It's on government owned land that no one can build on because it's like coal mining land or something silly like that. And they lease it out for $600 a year. So I pay $600 a year. And every single person that drives by on that intersection, right at that stop sign, sees the gigantic 6 by 12 billboard. And yes, Steve and I have closed deals through that billboard and made thousands of dollars. That billboard will be paying for itself for the next almost decade. So if you can find anywhere in your local area that they will allow you to put up a really large sign for a really cheap price or something like that, it's worth looking into if you can afford it, because you will get calls from it if it's a high traffic area. You can also get that. I once rented a mini billboard. I think it was like $200 a month. It was a 6 by 12, same size, little billboard that you could rent at various locations. I'm thinking, Steve, the place I'm thinking of is on River Street in Plains. There's all those little mini billboards that are there. And they're all 6 by 12. I think it's like $200 a month to rent them. You can't really go wrong if you've got that kind of money to spend. And then the final thing is, and this is going to go through Hunting for Homes, is, as the leads come in through us, we can eventually talk about getting leads through a website. We can eventually talk about that through Hunting for Homes. There's also SEO ways that you can get leads coming into you through a website, which is a little bit beyond the scope of this training because there's cost associated with that. But if you go through us, we can probably help you out with that. So whether you're doing it online, whether you're doing it in person, whether you're doing it in newspaper ads or whatever, the goal is get leads, funnel leads in through by whatever method we've gone through. Pick one, pick them all, get leads. Once you start getting leads, bring them to Steve and I. We can help secure the deal at a good number. We can secure a buyer. We can get it through the finish line and through closing. So we're all getting paid. We're all making money. which is the name of the game. And hey, you're learning how to do it in the process as a student. And that's really at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So you could call this, I guess you could call this How to Find Leads 101 if you want a title for it. How to Find Leads 101 for little to no money out of pocket. So I'll turn it back over to Steve now, but this is essentially how you get your business started for little to nothing out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, guys, getting your LLC, getting your logo, all of that is definitely helpful at a certain point. But the only reason I jumped in, and I didn't correct Ryan, that wasn't what it was a lot of people say, oh, I don't have any money to start with. You don't need money to start. And second of all, if you're going to spend your money and you are in Pennsylvania, you're probably better off getting a license and joining our firm than you are, getting your own LLC and stuff, because you cannot wholesale units 1, 2, 3, and 4, single, double, triple, quad in Pennsylvania without being licensed. People do it. There's dancing around whether or not they can double close, whether or not they can this, that, the other thing. There's a lot of dancing, but the point is, technically, the law says any intent to make money from equity you do not own on property you do not own in the state of Pennsylvania for units 1, 2, 3, and 4 is illegal unless you're a licensed agent working under a brokerage. We talk a lot about hunting for homes, and that is, in fact, a company Ryan and I own together. But all of the action runs through Gorilla Real Estate, which is the brokerage that I own that Ryan and other people are agents for. So our wholesaling business is basically hunting for homes as kind of a marketing brand for that and for you guys to work under. But Gorilla is where the licenses happen. And that's where for the units 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, before Ryan joined, I showed you self-storage options. We are always, it does not matter. If it's real estate, we want it. If it's a mobile home on a rented property, there's hair on that deal in every which way. If it is a 2001 modern, beautiful, whatever mobile home, we've done very well in that. If it's a dumpy 70s looking tin piece of crap, please don't even bother waking me up. It ain't going to happen. Because we came very close on the closing of a single wide and found out the park was going to make it be torn down. So there was no saving it. Mobile homes, no land, don't care. Mobile home parks, all day long care. Self-storage areas, buildings, properties, care. Anything with dirt, care. Yes, we take them. Car washes, laundromats on rented or owned property, yes. With dirt, with real estate, we care, even land. And we will teach you next week. I need to do a whole separate training on land. But just to simplify it, and Ryan, please jump in. I know you went on mute like I did, but just to simplify it, what we want you to do right away is get a Google Voice or Ring Central or number that is not your phone number. Get a Facebook business profile. And I'm going to open up my Facebook here. And in a lot of this, I'm the bad example because I don't even do some of what I suggest I should do. But you'll see here in my Facebook, am I live at this point with this? No? Okay, let me put it on the stage. On my personal Facebook, this is what it looks like because I do most of my stuff through my personal Facebook. But I do have a Steve, I have a bunch of different business profiles. The reason you don't want it on your personal page is twofold. One is too many of us put family crap on our business page, who we dated, who we went partying with. And your audience doesn't want that for the most part. Your audience wants you to be all real estate all the time. The second thing is, let's see, Steve's REI homepage. This is my business profile. The second thing is that you want to be the real estate leader. Everything you post is real estate. Steal my content. Steal Ryan's content. With credit, use other people's. An article you find on Bigger Pockets or whatever. You want to join the community groups like, what's wrong in Wilkes-Barre, what's happy in Pittston, those kinds of things. You do want to join the real estate investor groups as well to sort of have credibility and connection with other investors. But your target right now is to find sellers of property, motivated sellers. What's a motivated seller? A tired landlord, a grandmother that's just done with a property. Maybe she's living in a nursing home or whatever. Any situation where they want to sell it. And remember, we buy houses. We don't buy homes. And there's really no technical difference other than if they have an emotional connection or they want top dollar, they're probably not us. Your point in this is not to decide that. Your point is bring the fish in, as it were, and to bring the fish to us, I guess, for lack of a better term, and we'll decide if it's what it is, pretty much.
Yep, we'll decide which fish is going to be thrown back and which ones to keep. Just make it a numbers game. Just bring everything to us, and don't judge, don't make assumptions. Just bring them all to us, and we'll take it from there.
Exactly, and so you're getting your Facebook profile set up, you're getting your phone number set up, you're building your business card, or you're having us make you business cards. You're making a flyer, which can be your flyer and your bandit sign can be the same kind of thing. We buy houses cash. It can be handwritten. Buy the 2x3 pieces of stuff at Home Depot. Get one of those fat markers and just write on it. We buy houses cash. If you need bandit signs, I don't like putting them up, so I got probably 50 in my garage. You can have them. If you want to send postcards, I got thousands of postcards. Put labels on them, put stamps on them, put your number on them. Go for it. There you go. You don't have to pay for the printing, just pay for the postage. Like, I got thousands, and I will never again personally stick stickers on postcards because it frustrates me. It makes me sad. So anything like that, your goal here with bandit signs, and bandit signs are tricky. They're on land you don't own. So the reason you want a throwaway number, I have two secondary numbers. I have my 798, which I use, and that's my business line. I can't risk that. And I have one for bandit signs that I can risk. A lot of my bandit signs have 798, but whatever. But I'm careful. I put them out on Thursdays. I pick them up on Sundays. Code officers aren't working then. Because you're putting them in street corners. You're putting them on telephone poles. You're putting them where they don't belong. That's why they're called bandit signs. You want to you want to look at your tax sale list is another way. And so you want to buy lists. You want to look at your tax sale list. And you want to skip trace the people that survived the last tax sale, the upset, and they're headed to judicial. Do that. Look at people, we can talk to you about what kinds of lists to buy. Talk to your code officers. Drive for dollars. You drive around and you look and you say, that house looks crappy. We'll show you how to skip trace it. I'm going to show you real quick now in Google, and we can give you PropStream access. We can give you a lot of other accesses. But in Google, you'll see that here I am flying, and I put a pin at 108 Grove Street because it happens to be one of the neighborhoods I live in or I own in. And you could do virtual driving for dollars. Now, this is probably going to be a bad one. So whenever I do this live, I never come up with a property. But I'm flying over here, and I'm looking for a dilapidated property. I'm literally just, and you do this in PropStream, it'll tell you who the owner is, whatever. I'm not coming across one, but let's say I say, oh, here's one. That looks like a tarp on the roof. Is it a tarp on the roof? I don't know. So, okay, Stanton Street, near the corner of Brown Street. Maybe you can, in a Zillow or something, get the address, we show you how to skip trace and whatever. But this is a virtual way to drive for dollars. And maybe you drive over that part of town and you say, hey, I see you at this Stanton Street. And yeah, you're the same house. Okay, well, let's talk about what situation you're in. How can we help you? Our business is about win-win-win. Ryan and I had an experience many times where the seller lost money. The seller brought money to closing. Literally, we're making $6,000 and they brought $7,000 to close the deal. Literally. And they kissed us. Well, not actually kissed us, but they were so happy.
Thanking us up and down. And we're like, wow, I've never seen somebody so happy to lose money in all my life.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you get in those situations. So basically we are here to solve their problem. Now on the so any way you can get on your Facebook, tell your friends and family, hey, I'm in real estate, When you're doing, and if you watch the first part of this video, you'll see the self-storage conversation. We want mom and pop self-storage properties. We don't want U-Haul, Extra Space, CubeSmart, the super national brands. They might be a brand. It might be A&A self-storage. That's the Amato family here, a very wealthy family. They own, a dozen self-storage facilities. Even though the Amatos may never sell, a dozen is definitely a viable number. They might sell to a real estate investment trust like a U-Haul, but you know what? You knock on their door. or call them up or whatever and say, hey, can I, We're right now working on that. You're looking for people who are motivated to sell. If it ends up as a listing, you can still kind of get paid, but you get paid less because listings are thinner. But like we did a deal last week, we signed it up for 40 on Tuesday, I think, and we sold it for 60 on Saturday. So, and I got to call them anyway. But the point is, sometimes you make 1,000, sometimes you make whatever. But the point is, your job right now, what we need you to do is get in front of motivated sellers, get visibility in there. We will walk you through everything else. When you get them, we'll give you, when you sign up with us, or you already have signed up, you already have this link. Here's the public form. Not the greatest organization. My developer's working on that. But this is the basic stuff we need. You put it in here. You put it in here and you submit, boom, or they submit, boom, it comes in the system. On the team version of this, it asks you who you are. So you can say, hey, this is my lead. And the team version has a hell of a lot more questions in it. But the point is you put it in here and we'll walk you through everything. Those of you who aren't signed up yet, we'll talk to you about what the JV splits are. Those of you who are, you know the deal. And your what percentage you make goes up when you get licensed, because on deals that don't need licensing. But yeah, I mean, basically, bandit signs, flyers, being on Facebook, Instagram, yada yada yada. If you look at Marketplace and Zillow, I will tell you that we're going to squint at you when you bring us those. Gee, this person's advertising this house. Yes, that's precisely the problem.
And I can't say we've never closed the Facebook deal. We've done that once, but I want to say that was more like a needle in a haystack type of situation. You're really not going to have success looking on Marketplace and be like, oh, this is a good deal, because they're all priced at retail on there or over in some instances.
Yeah, exactly. And therein lies the problem, because if the world has seen it at advertised for 50, like, well, we'll talk about the one up in Syracuse, which we won't be doing. The guy wants $400,000. Well, the last listing he had was $390,000. So first of all, why would someone pay me more than they paid the last listing person? And second of all, comparable properties aren't selling for that. So if something's already advertised and is advertised for $400,000, we have to get it. Now let's even assume 400 is, a little below 400 is the strike price where someone would actually buy it. We have to get it for like $250 in order to be able to mark it up and resell it for $300. So if somebody's been advertising their house for $100,000 and it hasn't happened, we're not going to get $100,000. We put it back on the market. We know that we're going to get like 60 or 70 because the world's already seen it.
Don't think if you see a house for 100, oh, I can offer them 95, or I can offer them 90, or I can offer them 85. It's not going to happen. It's just not.
No. And the rule of thumb in our business is that if they're more interested in money than time, and this is a question we ask them, you don't ask them, because the way of saying it that doesn't freak them out. If they want more money than they want it now, they're better off listing with us or listing with someone. So we want the people, and you don't get into motivations at this point. You will grow into that. We will teach you how to grow into that. But right now, you're bringing it in. But the person, if it's already advertised, I mean, they're going to have to take a huge sacrifice because the world's already seen it. We want the ones, I like to say, that they haven't figured out they need to sell yet. I will probably do this summer. I keep telling myself every year I'm going to do this. I'm going to park my Jeep down at Lowe's, and it's going to have my We Buy Houses signs on it. Or I guess it's actually Ryan's We Buy Houses sign, but whatever. We're going to have our We Buy Houses sign on it. And because when people have houses that are messed up, they go to Lowe's. They go to Home Depot. The other thing you can do is you can call your local code officer. And depending on how organized your code officer is, then we'll wrap it up with this, with the quick bullet points. And, hey, give me a code violation for your town. Oh, I don't keep those records. Okay, great. Then you go to their website, you download their Sunshine Law or Right to Know request or Freedom of Information Act request, and you give it to them in writing. Now, they can refuse it. FIOAs are not, I mean, you can go to court, but you're not going to. But you simply request a list of code violations, what they're violated for, and who the property owner is. And we'll show you what to do with that later. Because what you're looking for is the person with the tarp on their roof that can't afford to do anything about it. They know they're in trouble. They're tired of hearing from the code officer. Now, some of these code officers you'll get friendly with. and they'll be like, hey, they'll actually give you leads. They're not supposed to, but they'll actually give you leads. But the point is that these are other ways. So get your phone number, and if you don't, you can use ours, whatever. You can use your regular phone number. The reasons we're suggesting your phone number, the reasons we're suggesting a separate email address and a separate Facebook account isn't just the world doesn't see your talk about your party last Saturday. It's also that you can shut off the traffic. Ryan knows that Paragon is his business email. His family probably has him under a different email. And so, all right, if it comes in on Paragon and I don't feel like working that day, I don't look at Paragon. 798 is my business line. Now, I think Ryan and I pretty much answer our lines all the time, but the point is, don't have to. It's my business line. If you know my other line, you know my other line. You're special. You're either earlier when I was earlier in business or you're a personal friend. You can shut off your world that way. You also know a little bit of, it comes in on 237, I can answer, hi, it's Steve. It comes in on 798, I'm more likely to answer real estate with Steve. I'm a bit of a different brain fog. Again, I've not done well with doing my own rules. I learned them after I started. But the point is you do that. That's why you want that. And you want to, I think the cheap newspaper ads are great. Cheap Facebook. I mean, if you want to spend a couple bucks on Facebook, but you don't have to spend money on Facebook to go into, and I'm probably not going to be able to find one of these groups, but, go into the Pittston community page, for example, and you can comment, if anybody has real estate to sell. Be careful with that because these are more about chit chat in the town. But you can also say, hey, if you have real estate questions, reach out to me. Or just be present. Just be the one they know and they recognize as your real estate profile. And, like Ryan said, your community groups, your churches, you're this, you're that, you're the other thing, whatever. Those things. Do those things. And, flyers, bandit signs, door hangers, sticking people colloquially, I'll say sticking things in people's mailboxes. Technically, do that is actually a federal violation, but no one really cares. The point is going door to door, walking down a neighborhood street, knocking on every door, and have something to give them. If you don't have business cards yet, make up little flyers, print something out on a piece of paper, and cut paper into 4 pieces, and everybody, a quarter of the page is a thing, whatever.
And we've even seen that. How many times have you guys ever been to a parking lot and you get something under your windshield wiper for a restaurant or something like that? That way you can bypass the whole mail thing, but still choose your area, and you don't have to really probably worry about someone answering the door with a pistol on your face.
Yeah, exactly. And the last couple, and this is something that is a little bit of adventure to do, but meet with the state attorneys, probate attorneys, meet with accountants, meet with bankruptcy people. Go to the local, Pennsylvania calls it the pathonetary's office in the courthouse. And on their computers, you can download all of the recent divorce filings, all of the recent, will, whatever it's called, probates, all of the recent, pre-bankruptcy filings.
Pre-inheritance, probates, delinquent tax files. And online you can pull like tired landlords, vacant houses, foreclosures, all that crap. I mean, it's all there.
Yep. I mean, good categories in that. So anything that's being filed in court that names people as being in trouble, lawsuits against them, which is hard because so many freaking lawsuits, pathonetary or, probate, pre-probate, bankruptcy, pre-bankruptcy, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, divorce, and maybe they think there's a pre-divorce, but those kinds of things, tax delinquencies, go to your county website or call your county not tax assessor, delinquent tax office, and they'll tell you how to pull that list of who's behind their taxes, who's behind their mortgage, whatever. Promote that you do this, and even say in your promotions, upside down, behind on mortgage, whatever, we don't care, we will help you. Anything that gets the deal done, we will help you.
And I think the way that the most of the newer students that are listening out there, you're going to be starting off when you don't have money in the beginning. It's going to be your time. You're going to spend a lot of time doing this. But when you get a few deals under your belt and you've got 5, 6, 7, 8,000 now sitting in a bank account, now it's going to slowly transition towards money. Your time is still going to be valuable and you're still going to spend a lot of it. But as you make more money, it's going to be slightly less time and spending. You'll start to spend money to acquire these types of leads as opposed to doing the free route. And you can still continue doing the free route, but it's just kind of think of it It's mostly time, and it transitions into spending money as you go along.
Yeah, exactly. So hang on one second. So send a quick message. And the other thing when you're looking at lists to buy or other categories, non-owner occupied, absentee landlord, high equity, as well as upside down property. High equity meaning like they have the property paid off. Upside down equity meaning they owe more than it's worth. That becomes a whole subject to conversation. Absentee landlord, vacant, absentee property owner, out of state property owner, people in the various forms of trouble. Those are the kinds of things you're looking for. Because if you're talking to the person who has a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood and they have no money problems and they have no need for money, why would they be rushed to sell it to you for less than it's worth? They can go to a realtor and they can list it and they can, wait for the right dollar amount because they got no pressure. So that's who you're looking for. All right. So I think at this point, everyone kind of gets it. I don't think there's anything else we're missing. Is there?
No, I think we covered everything pretty well.
All right. Sounds good, guys. So we'll send this out to everybody and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.